Good day, students. Today we're going to look at a solution to number 5, page 66 of workbook 2, which is practice 1 in chapter 4. And this one is talking about f of x, or function notation. Okay, so let's have a look at this problem now. So it's given you a function g of x equals to 2x squared minus 3x plus 4. And it's asking you to find different values of g. Now g of x, okay, well, we're used to using f of x, or some of us have used it, and that's called a function notation. And it reads f of x. And it's just another way to write the y value, right? Because y is a function of x, so y equals f of x, right? So when y, of course, is the dependent variable, so it's a function of the independent variable x. Another way to think about it is the ordered pair. We know ordered pairs are x comma y, and therefore ordered pairs could be written as x and f of x. F of x is the most common. We also use for using different letters, because sometimes we have more than one function. We use g of x, which is the example today. We also use ones with h's. They're the three most common, f of x being the most common. But g of x and h of x are also common ones, right? So all you have here is just a different way to write y. Remember, y is the same as f of x. And for some people, when they see a function with f of x or g of x or h of x, they change it to y. And that's perfectly correct. Alright, so let's have a look at what we're being asked here. In the first one, we're asked for g of 5. And what that means is to put 5 in here for x. Take out the x and put in 5. Wherever you see x, so take out that one, put it in there. So that's all it means, is straight substitution at this stage. In other words, find the y value. Okay, find the y value when x is 5. So that's basically what, look, I could write it like this. 5 comma question mark. In other words, when x is 5, what is y? That's what it's asking you, okay? So not too bad when it's numbers. It's a little bit easier when it's just a number given. So let's look at g of 5. G of 5 means to do what? 2 times 5 squared minus 3 times 5 plus 4. Okay, so that's 2 times 5 squared, 25. Always square first. That's 3 times 5, if you can't see it there. 3 times 5, which is 15, plus 4. That's 50 minus 15 plus 4. That's 35 plus 4, and that's 39. So g of 5 equals 39, which is just another way to write the ordered pair 5 comma 39. So you can write it like that or that. So there's the answer to the first one. Okay, there's the answer to A right there. Now if I look at B, alright, if I look at B, let's go to a different color. G of root 3. Now let's do B down here to get a bit more room. G of root 3. What does that mean? It means to put root 3 in for x. Okay, put root 3 in for x. So I get 2 times root 3 squared minus 3 times root 3 plus 4. Okay, now let's review what happens when you square a root sign. So root 3 squared, because by BEDMAS we must do the exponents first, right? So what does that mean? That means root 3 multiplied by itself. That's what square means, which of course is root 9, which is 3. Okay, so when you square a root sign, what happens? You get the number back inside, don't you? Okay, so this is going to be 2 times 3 minus 3 root 3 plus 4. That's 6 minus 3 root 3 plus 4. And that's 10 minus 3 root 3. So it looks like g of root 3, I'll write it back up here, is 10 minus 3 root 3. Now, if you wanted to go to a decimal, you could have changed that to 4.8. I think that's what it works out to. I just checked it on my calculator. Alright, so in other words, you have the ordered pair, 3 and 10 minus 3 root 3. Or when x is 3, y is 4.8. Okay, that's B. Now C, they're asking you for g of t. So they're asking you to put another variable in for x, basically. Put t in here for x and put it in here for x, right? So all that means is you substitute in, you're changing the variable from x to t. So it's 2 times t squared minus 3 times t plus 4, which is 2t squared minus 3t plus 4. And there's nothing else you can do with that. That's his final answer right there. And again, as an ordered pair, it would simply be t, comma, because when x is t, y is 2t squared minus 3t plus 4. Now the last one is a binomial, t plus 3, substituting it in for x. So it requires a little bit more work, so I'll move down here. Okay. So we're doing g of t plus 3. Now what does that mean to do? That means to take t plus 3 and put it in for x. So we got 2 times x. Now what's x? T plus 3, but we have to square it. It's 2x squared minus 3 times x, which is also t plus 3. Notice I use brackets every time, or parentheses, every time I substitute. And that's a good habit. Okay, get used to that. Equals 2. Now, what is t plus 3 squared? Let's do that down here. Binomial squared, by the way, is always a trinomial because you have to expand it like this. So binomial squared is always a trinomial. T times t, of course, is t squared. T times 3 is plus 3t. Some people call this the FOIL method. Some people call it extended distributive property. Whatever you prefer. You multiply each term in the binomial by each term in the second binomial. Okay, 3 times 3 is 9, so I get t squared plus 6t plus 9. Okay, see how I got that? T squared plus 6t plus 9. Now, so let me just get rid of that to get some room here. Delete that. So what do we have there? T squared, okay, plus 6t plus 9. And there are shortcuts to squaring binomials. Maybe your teacher has taught you that. Then we got minus 3t. Now be careful with the sign here. Distributive property, minus 3 times t minus 3 times positive 3, which is minus 9. See how I got negative 9 there? Okay, plus 4. Now we still have a distributive property to do here. 2 times t squared, 2 times 6t, 2 times 9, so it's 2t squared plus 12t plus 18 minus 3t minus 9 plus 4. Now let's add any like terms. There's no other t squared terms. It's just 2t squared. But I do have like terms between 12t and negative 3t. That'll be positive 9t. And if I add the other three numbers together, 18 subtract 9 is 9. 9 plus 4 is 13. So that's what g of t plus 3 is equal to. So again, you could write it like this. Your final answer, g of t plus 3 is equal to 2t squared plus 9t plus 13. Or as an ordered pair, x first, which is t plus 3, comma, your y value, which is your g of x or f of x. And of course, that's that. So there's the complete solution to number 5 on page 66.